Hello, Artful Manifestors. Thank you for joining me today for this timeless pick a card tarot reading. Whenever you come across this reading is when you're meant to hear it. And I want to let you know that I always align myself with your highest and best good to offer you guidance, to bring you hope and inspiration to achieve your artful manifesting. All right. To choose your reading, you're going to choose from one of these crystals I'm going to introduce or one of the cards I'm about to reveal, and then go down to the description box below the video, click on the word more, and it'll open it up and you'll see links to all the readings as well as a list of the cards that I use. All right, for reading number 1, we have Chrysocolla. And for reading number 2, we have Golden Healer. And for reading number 3, Cinnabrite. All right, let's look at the cards. For reading number 1, this is the image. For number 2, this is the image. By the way, this is card 28 for reading number 1 and card 8 for reading number 2. And for reading number 3, this is the image, card 36. All right, let your intuition guide you. Whichever crystal or card you're most drawn to is most likely the reading meant for you, of course. If you're drawn to more than one, feel free to listen to more than one, as there may be additional guidance for you there. Enjoy your reading. Hello, reading number 1. You chose the Chrysocolla, which is connected to your heart chakra, your throat chakra, helping to open them up and balance them, encouraging truth spoken with compassion, speaking from your heart, but speaking honestly. It helps soften harsh communication and replaces it with clarity, kindness, and authenticity. It's a very emotionally healing stone. It resonates with the soothing energy of water, making it a stone of calm, peace, and flow. It aids in releasing old grief, heartbreak, or emotional blockages, replacing them with acceptance and renewal, and it encourages forgiveness of self and others. It's strongly connected with the divine feminine. It nurtures intuition, creativity, and receptivity, invites balance between yielding and asserting, helping you embody strength without force, and it supports you in all stages of life, especially through transitions. It acts as a mirror for inner truth, helping you recognize what is real and what no longer serves. It encourages speaking from the soul rather than from fear or defense. And it enhances psychic awareness by tuning you into subtle energies. It carries grounding yet expansive vibrations, linking personal healing with collective healing. And it invites harmony with Gaia and encourages mindful stewardship of nature and community. It's a wonderful stone for teachers, healers, communicators, anyone that holds space, so that you can do that with strength and gentleness. And really, anyone who meditates, it helps to calm turbulent thoughts. You can even lie down and place this on your heart or throat during, meditation to help heal and balance those areas. All right, and the card that you chose is the Egyptian primordial god, Hu. So there were 8 primordial deities, and these 8 gods and goddesses were paired in male-female dyads and represented the chaotic, formless state before creation. And whose domain was infinity. He personified infinity, boundlessness, endlessness, and eternity. And he's often depicted as a man with a palm rib, which is just it's like a notched palm branch. And that symbolizes time, long years, or infinity. And sometimes he's depicted as a frog-headed man, and the frog being a symbol of fertility and endless life. He represents what has no beginning and no end, timelessness, the eternal backdrop of existence. Something we all have. We all have that aspect of us that is eternal. And he also represents potentiality. Before the cosmos was ordered, his essence was the infinite possibility within chaos. And because he holds the energy of everlasting, he's also tied to cycles of renewal and rebirth, suggesting that nothing truly dies, only transforms. And the frog aspect connects him to fertility of the Nile, the great floodwaters. The palm rib ties that he carries ties him to measuring eternity. Palm branches were used in ancient Egypt to record long spans of time. So in essence, Hu is the limitless expanse itself, the ocean of eternity from which all arises. He wasn't worshipped, but he was honored. He wasn't worshipped like Osiris or Isis were, but he was honored in creation hymns as one of the great primordial powers. And it says here, exploration. So with the Chrysocolla and Hu, you're being nudged to step out of your comfort zone, to leave the familiar, to expand, to grow beyond what you already know into something new. This is a transformative time, a time of expansion for you. Let's find out more about that. Some fell into my lap. It looks like 3, so let's take these. All right, we have the 4 of Pentacles. That came out in reverse. The Lovers. And the Chariot. So funny because the 4 of Pentacles is all about safety. So we're asking, where you're being guided to expand. And I already mentioned moving out of your comfort zone. And here we get the 4 of Pentacles. All right. So we have the 4 of Pentacles in reverse. In upright form, the 4 of Pentacles, we see somebody literally holding the house, right? Protecting it, clinging tightly. It's clinging tightly, holding on to, controlling resources, old identities, out of fear of loss. And reversed, the card suggests that you're being guided to loosen your grip and expand by letting go and trusting the flow of energy rather than hoarding it. So you're being called to soften the instinct to hold back. So there's something in your life that you're holding back on. I feel for many of you it is your expression, but it could be money, love, creative gifts. Expansion comes when you allow yourself to circulate your energy like breath or water, right? Water ebbs and flows. We breathe in and out. So allowing that circulation, it's like you're inhaling and you want to keep it. Okay. I did it and I got this urge to cough, and that's what will happen energetically is if you're holding on to all of that resource, whatever it is, eventually it's going to, you're not going to be able to control when it releases. So it's better for you to choose that inhale and exhale rather than it being forced. So this is a nudge towards giving your wisdom, your creations, your heart, your expression. Expansion is found when you allow others to benefit from what you've cultivated, trusting that the universe replenishes what you release. The reversed 4 of Pentacles can whisper, you are not defined by what you hold on to, but by what you allow yourself to embody and express. You are guided to expand into a more spacious, abundant self-concept. This card reversed often signals that clinging to the safe and unknown has become too tight, like when you outgrow your clothes. And expansion is asking you to step into fresh territory, whether, again, that's financial, spiritual, or creative, even if it feels vulnerable. And I'm feeling for many of you, it's some form of self-expression. So this could be literally creating things. It can be how you dress, how you talk, what you say, your self-expression, how you express yourself. You're being guided to let loose of the reins, which is funny because we have the Chariot here. But before we get to that, let's move on to the Lovers. So, what part of you is ready to stretch into this new expression and creativities, and we get the Lovers. And the Lovers isn't only about romance, it's about union, choice, alignment, and harmony between polarities, which connects back to the Chariot again. So it reveals that the part of you ready to expand is the one that seeks integration, where your inner dualities meet and become something entirely new. So this is your inner union. A part of you is ready to create from the meeting of opposites. Logic and intuition, for example, masculine drive and feminine receptivity, mind and heart. So again, think of that ebb and flow, the breathing out and breathing in, right? The breathing out might be like that forward movement, that masculine drive. You set something into action, but then the breathing in is that feminine receptivity of allowing the fruits of your labors to be received. Your creativity expands when you allow both voices to sit at the table and weave together. This is sacred choice and alignment. The Lovers is about conscious choice. A part of you is stretching toward expressing what you truly love and value, no longer creating from obligation, but from devotion and joy. Think of an artist who creates only for others, only others' visions. So somebody comes and says, paint a picture of this blue elephant for me on the wall. And somebody else says, paint a portrait of me. But the artist never truly expresses their own energy, their own ideas, their own vibration. And so that's what you're being called to do, is to express your own flow, your own creativity, your own expression. And it's also about connection. So look for opportunities to collaborate. And I feel for many of you, it could be external collaborations, but again, it's collaboration of ideas within you, or expressions within you, or collaboration with energies that act as mirrors and muses. So you're ready to express in ways that reflect the sacred interplay between yourself and these energies that reflect back to you and act as muses. So there may be people or other energies that you encounter. It could be something you watch on TV, a book that you read, something you see that gives you an idea, that it inspires you. Look for those things that inspire you. And of course, the Lovers is also desire itself, what you long for, who and what you are drawn toward is a compass for self-expression. You are ready to honor those impulses as sacred guides, not guilty indulgences. So remember that creativity is an act of love, love for life, love for beauty, love for truth. And your expansion is about expressing love in a form uniquely yours, whether through words, images, rituals, how you dress, relationships, new ways of being. There's some area where you're holding back, that you're being asked to be uniquely you. Show others they're showing me a peacock, strutting its stuff, showing its feathers. And the Chariot is showing, it's this archetype of the two forces pulling in different directions. And it's control versus surrender. So one part of you wants to hold the reins tightly, to direct structure and discipline, to stick to what you know. If you do this and this, you already know what the outcome is going to be, so you don't want to veer away from that. But you're being guided to do that, to expand and grow beyond it. There's this other part of you that longs to relax into flow, trusting the path will carry you. And your expansion comes when these two forces dance together. Again, it's like the ebb and flow. There's this union. It's focused intention guided by intuitive surrender. And one of the energies you're invited to collaborate with is Source. Trusting that Source is going to, just like you trust when the waves go out, that the waves are going to come back. The tide, right? It ebbs and flows. So you send out your intentions and trusting that Source, the universe, Gaia are all going to work to help you bring back that manifested. It's also, you can think of willpower versus receptivity. So you carry strong forward drive, the manifestor's will. Yet there's also a receptive, listening self that waits for inner guidance and synchronicity. And collaboration happens when you let your inner listening shape the direction of your outward action. So it's time to listen. There's little nudges that you may be ignoring because you want to stick to what you already know is tried and true. And it could also be earthly desires versus spiritual vision. The Chariot often reflects the push between worldly success and higher calling. So one part of you wants tangible progress, results, recognition, stability, and another wants mystical alignment, truth, service, transcendence, and expansion comes by allowing both. You don't have to choose. There's like a third option where you infuse, right, worldly action with soul purpose. This is the known self versus the becoming self. There is the you who has survived, adapted, and found your strength. And then there's the you who is stretching into new identities, new self-expression. So collaboration here means recognizing that your past self is not the enemy, but the foundation for your future self. So the Chariot says you don't have to eliminate one of those to move forward. You want to learn the art of guiding both your inner opposites. Think of them as a dance. Your inner opposites aren't meant to compete, but to power your journey. And their tension creates forward motion when it's aligned by your higher will. So you're finding balance between the tension of these two opposites, and it's creating a dance. It's creating that breathing in, breathing out, that action and reception. Really quite beautiful. Reading number 1, so exciting. Let me know how this resonates. I love to read your comments, and I'm wishing you the best. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye. Hello, reading number 2. You chose the Golden Healer, which is a very special form of quartz. It's infused with iron oxide, and that's what gives it this, hopefully you can see in this light, this warm, honey-like glow. Its energy is like liquid sunlight flowing through the body and spirit. So it acts as a channel for universal life force or divine golden light. It helps clear energetic blockages and allows healing energy to flow freely through all your chakras. It supports the body in aligning to its optimal spiritual blueprint. It carries a profoundly calming, soothing vibration, dissolving stress, anxiety, and fear. It encourages trust in the bigger picture and releases the need to control outcomes. It expands awareness, gently shifting perspective toward higher truths. And it resonates with the solar plexus chakra, strengthening personal power, self-confidence, and will. Inspires creativity, joy, and a radiant sense of purpose. And it can help you access deep reservoirs of vitality and optimism, even in challenging times. It opens pathways to the higher realms, to angelic guidance, to spiritual downloads, making it a stone of spiritual attunement, and acts as a bridge between the earthly body and higher frequencies, grounding light into physical reality. It supports work in meditation, Reiki, and other healing practices by enhancing energetic sensitivity. And it also resonates with the heart, bringing compassion, forgiveness, and acceptance. Supports the release of inherited or ancestral patterns, fusing those wounds with light and renewal. Creates balance between giving and receiving, helping heal relationships. It is the master healer. And it's so fitting that we have this golden master healer with Set. And it says resentment here. Set, of course, is one of the oldest gods in the Egyptian pantheon. Complex and paradoxal. He was the god of chaos, storms, deserts, disorder, violence, and foreign lands, and of course the brother of Osiris and Isis. And he's the one who killed Osiris, setting into motion that whole myth of death, resurrection, and kingship. And he's often depicted as this strange animal of other animals, a composite animal, sometimes even called the Set animal, with a curved snout and squared ears and sometimes a forked tail. He embodies the wild, untamed, destructive, and necessary forces of life. Chaos and storms. He represents the unpredictable, the uncontrollable, the forces that disrupt order. strength and protection. In certain periods, he was revered as a protector of Ra, standing at the prow of the solar boat to defend against the serpent Apophis, the force of pure chaos. And he's also connected to shadow and power. He embodies the shadow side of existence, ambition, violence, rivalry, but also raw survival, that raw survival instinct that we all have. And he's also about transformation through conflict. Seth's presence reminds us that creation requires tension between order and chaos. He was the necessary counterforce to Horus in myths of kingship. Without Set, balance could not be tested or maintained. So he's the desert wind and the thunderstorm, feared but also necessary. He teaches that within chaos lies the spark of new order, and within destruction, the seeds of renewal. So to work with his energy is to face your shadow. I mean, this image here is like the shadow, right? He's the shadow, kind of pulling the strings, so to speak, directing. It's claiming your own raw power and learning to channel disruptive forces into transformation rather than destruction. So, like, I'm seeing somebody who gets angry and channels that into some creative or physical thing. Maybe they start to run, or maybe they build something. They channel that anger into creating health for themselves, or building something, or creating some kind of artwork, or playing an instrument and channeling that to create some music that expresses that, rather than letting it destroy a relationship or even themselves, hurting themselves in some way. So figuring out how to channel that. All right, let's get some tarot cards and see what else we can find out. What is this chaos or conflict that's being asked to be transformed? All right. Now, this is a new deck for me, so I'm trying to see if, I guess this is the 9 of Swords. With it sideways, it's like, is that a 6 or a 9? But it looks like 9. And how can you transform this chaos? Or this conflict? Or channel it? Look at that again. 9. Or maybe this one is 6. Nope, 9. 2 9s. Wow. Coming close to realizing something, completing something, but also 9s are about fulfillment. And we started out with 8. 8, 9, 9. Okay. And the 5 of Swords. Okay, this is actually really amazing in response to the Set card and the Shadow, because the 9 of Swords is the shadow. Look at the 9 swords trapping this person, right? They're in their head. Swords are the element of air, it's thoughts. So it's being trapped in your own mind. What a great depiction of that. Feeling like your own mind or your own thoughts are working against you. We're talking about chaos and conflict, and this is the chaos and conflict within. So it's being called to be transformed. The swords can also represent fears, words, things that we say to ourselves, most likely things that somebody else said to us that then we replay in our own mind. This is that late night hauntings of the mind, the anxiety, worry, guilt, or regret that loops in our mind. It can express itself as sleeplessness and overthinking, where these shadows grow larger than they are in the daylight. And again, it's that sense of being trapped in your own mind, unable to rest. The chaos to transform is that mental torment of self-criticism, fear, or dread. So we want to transform fear to witnessing. Instead of running from the chaos of the mind, you're called to sit with it, acknowledge it, and name the fears out loud. And from isolation to connection, because the 9 of Swords often isolates us. He's by himself. It's like he can't move. So transformation comes when you share your burden with spirit allies, source, trusted people, professionals, or through journaling and ritual. This is from shadow to illumination. This card asks you to see the mental storms not as punishment, but as invitations to clarity. Each sword is a truth waiting to be examined. And I am hearing from my guides that somebody feels guilty for surviving. Now, for some of you, this could be quote unquote survivor's guilt. And for some of you, it's ties back to the card of Set, of doing what you had to do to survive. Using those animal instincts to survive. And you're being guided to let go of that. It's not serving you to judge yourself in this way. And the fact that you feel guilty about it shows that you are a person of compassion. All right, let's move on to the Nine of Wands. Just amazing that we went from the Nine of Swords to the Nine of Wands. It's a direct continuation of, from the shadows of the mind to the endurance of spirit, because the Nine of Wands is about resilience and boundaries and wisdom hard earned through trials. So you may be weary, but you're not broken. And what once felt like torment can be transformed into strength, discernment, and guardianship. And what this shows me is that you're doing that. You are transforming these past trials and tribulations into strengths and wisdom. And the chaos of the anxious thought is asking to become the fire of awareness. And I feel that you've already transformed many of these. It's like if each of these represented one aspect, one experience, I feel like you've already transformed 8 of them and you're on that last one. Like I mentioned earlier, you're almost done. So you just have to tweak. You just have that final one to deal with. And you're being reminded to look at what you've already transformed. Look at the other swords that you've already transformed. And so swords cut, they can wound us just like words can. And you're being guided to recognize how strong you are and how resilient you are to have already come through all of this. And you're almost there. You know what to protect, what to release, and what battles are worth your energy. So this anxious thought is asking to become the fire of awareness. Those looping thoughts aren't here to break you, but to sharpen your awareness. You are becoming a watcher at your own gate, learning what belongs in your mind and what must be kept out. And I feel like for many of you, you feel like, I thought I was already past this. And then some little something happened that set you back into this old thought loop that you hadn't really experienced in a while. And it's just so that you can finally remove the rest of that last sword. This is from overthinking to wise preparedness. The Nine of Swords leaves you restless, and the Nine of Wands says, channel that energy into constructive readiness. Instead of imagining worst case scenarios, let the mind rehearse your strengths. If challenge comes, I will stand tall. I've survived worse. And moving again from isolation to empowered boundaries. So this isolating, because maybe in the past sharing led to betrayal, or maybe trust is part of that last sword. So the torment of the mind often isolates us. And the Nine of Wands calls for clear boundaries with yourself, others, and even your thought patterns. So now you can recognize this is not my thoughts. These aren't my words. And this is. You can choose. So when you are being critical of yourself, when you're feeling like the Nine of Swords, ask yourself whose voice this is. Who said that to you before? And that's going to help you to cut it away. Look at that. Cutting it away. Your chaos can become beneficial when you let it to teach you where you are strong and what you value. What is it telling you? What is it communicating? Every sleepless night becomes a scar of wisdom that you carry forward as resilience. And every inner fear can now stand guard as a lesson. You've survived this before, and you know how to endure. So again, you're being guided to remember that inner strength, that resilience. If you hear a little pitter patter, that's Cora. All right, the Five of Swords. It doesn't look like an easy card, but in the context of these other cards, it carries a profound gift. This card is often about conflict, defeat, or hollow victory. But when we ask the question, what strength you have forged through your mental trials, it reveals a deeper layer. You've learned that not every battle is worth your energy. Mental struggles have sharpened your ability to recognize when to step away, setting that boundary rather than exhaust yourself. You have this awareness of shadow dynamics, discernment, and conflict. You have faced the trickster sides of the mind, pride, self-sabotage, words that wound, and this gives you the rare gift of seeing the shadow clearly, both in yourself and in others. Through painful lessons, you now sense when someone or some thought seeks to pull you into a win-lose struggle. You know when to protect your peace rather to engage to prove yourself. And you have the courage to walk away. Perhaps the greatest strength is that you can release the sword. You do not need to win every argument, especially with yourself. So you are mastering that. You have so much wisdom from all of these trials and tribulations. You're learning to set those boundaries. And these conflicts didn't define you. They strengthened you. And they've given you wisdom, discernment, clarity. Yeah, with this golden healer, I see that you are releasing resentment of someone or something from the past, perhaps even yourself, or all of those things, that energy of resentment. You're healing it. You're seeing what it shows you. Just like Set resented Osiris, was jealous of Osiris, you have the wisdom to see the whole picture and see how you've grown. And you're almost there, pulling out that last sword. You're strong, you're resilient, and you're ready to experience the fulfillment and peace you deserve and that you've earned. Reading number 2, very powerful. Lots of powerful energy here. Please let me know if it resonates. I love to read your comments. and I'm wishing you the best. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye. Hello, reading number 3. You chose the Cinnabrite, which opens and strengthens the heart chakra, encouraging unconditional love for yourself and others. It helps dissolve bitterness, resentment, or defensiveness, softening the heart into forgiveness. It invites healthy self-love, reminding you that tenderness is strength. And it resonates with the root and sacral chakras, fueling vitality, creativity, and sensual energy. It encourages you to follow your heart with courage and conviction, turning inspiration into action. Strengthens determination and perseverance when you are working toward soul-aligned goals. And it helps transform old emotional patterns that block love or intimacy. It soothes feelings of abandonment or betrayal, replacing them with trust in your own worthiness. Supports those who feel drained or discouraged, bringing a gentle infusion of hope. And it balances spiritual vision with earthly needs, helping you anchor higher inspiration into daily life. It teaches you to live your love, not just feel it, bridging compassion into tangible action. And it harmonizes yin and yang within, aligning willpower with softness. And the card you chose is Nefertum. Nefertum was a younger god of the Egyptian pantheon, often considered the son of Sekhmet. He's usually shown as a beautiful young man wearing a blue lotus flower on his head, sometimes with 2 feathers, or sometimes with lions beside him. And in some myths, he emerges from the first lotus blossom that rose from the primordial waters at creation. He embodies youth, beauty, fragrance, healing. Nefertum carries a gentle, restorative energy in contrast to the fierceness of his mother, Sekhmet. He is the balm after the fire. Lotus, are symbols of rebirth. The lotus that blooms each morning from the water symbolizes renewal, resurrection, and the dawn. And he's associated with perfumed oils, salves, and sweet scent of flowers. He was invoked for healing of the body and spirit. If you are this is called Cinebrite, which makes me think of cinnamon. And Nefertum is associated with, these fragrant smells. And so if you're a person that perhaps uses essential oils or works with flowers, please let me know. That's really coming through very strongly. Or you're just, the smell of certain things can really invoke strong feelings or memories. There are different kinds of clairs, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and it's escaping me right now, but there is one connected to smelling things. If that is you, if you smell things that aren't there, but this is a form of how spirit is communicating with you, please let me know. All right, he's also represented as this eternal youth, vitality, and the perfection of spirit. And where Sekhmet was wrath and fire, Nefertum, again, is soothing and healing, a gentle complement to her fierce protective energy. And there's something again about this fragrance that keeps coming through. You know, he is the god of the fragrant breath of life. The moment you inhale beauty and feel renewed, he embodies the truth that healing does not always roar like a lion. Sometimes it comes softly, like the opening of a flower. Yeah, I'm definitely getting something about scents and smelling things, or maybe you're healing something with essential oils, or let's see, we'll find out more. Maybe that's not for everybody, but somebody here listening, that is coming through very strongly. Or flowers. All right, here we go. The Nine of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles. And the Nine of Cups. Wow. If you came from reading number 2, please let me know, because here's the other 2 nines. And I already felt that, you know, the card drawn in reading number 2 said resentment on it. And Cinebrite helps dissolve resentment. So if you came from reading number 2, you're definitely meant to hear this message as well. I love you. I love your reading. This is so beautiful. We see a clock here surrounded by nature, spending time in nature. You notice details others overlook. You have a sensitivity to beauty and atmosphere, the shape of a leaf, the way light falls, the subtle shifts of energy in a room. This sensitivity is not fragility, but your strength. It allows you to cultivate spaces of harmony and abundance, both inner and outer. And either this is you or this is who you're becoming, and your guides are telling you, good work, you're on the right path. You're being you, who you were meant to be. This is softness of self-sufficiency. The Nine of Pentacles celebrates a soul who stands in quiet independence, in cultivated serenity. Your softness allows you to live in self-reliance without isolation, tending to yourself with care as if you were a beloved garden. This symbolizes gentle mastery over wildness. In pile number 2, we talked about, that survival instinct. And this is that gentle taming. So think of you, gently tame a fox or a coyote or a wolf, just by having a calm presence and maybe setting out food and emulating this energy of trust. That's you. That's what you're doing with yourself. So it makes this trust grow where force never could. I need to get a drink. One moment. Okay, better. There's also, this clock there, it shows appreciation of slowness, taking your time. You have the softness to savor things like meals, art, time in nature. And this, or good conversation, this quality of presence is strength because it roots you in abundance rather than lack, allowing you to manifest more naturally. This is a quiet confidence. The 9 of Pentacles carries elegance without arrogance. Your softness of spirit radiates as true power, confidence that does not need to shout. And what I'm hearing is that many of you don't even realize the power of your presence. Most of us can't see, but you really have no understanding of the effect that you have on other people or how they view you. You may not see yourself in this way, but you have this strong softness. Your softness is your sovereignty. Your sensitivity is the soil in which your abundance blooms. This is the grace that makes you strong, is that you're able to remain supple and not harden from experiences. So again, this is either a validation, confirmation from your guides of who you are, or it's who you are becoming. They want you to know that's what you're cultivating. And through this energy that you're cultivating through your gentleness, true reciprocity. You cultivate relationships and exchanges that aren't transactional but soul level. With this 6 of Pentacles, force can demand obedience or compliance, but only gentleness creates trust. Trust can't be demanded, it's earned. Where giving and receiving flow freely. It's just like that wolf or coyote or fox that I talked about. You develop this trust, and it looks after you in return. You develop this relationship. It's a sacred balance. You're cultivating the art of balance, knowing when to give, when to receive, and when to simply allow energy to circulate. Such a great skill to develop. So many people feel pressured or rushed to act or do or say, instead of just allowing. And gentleness allows you to sense these rhythms. Force can disrupt balance, but tenderness restores it. This is so beautiful. And I just love your energy, reading number 3. Your gentleness fosters an atmosphere where others feel safe to be vulnerable, to ask for help, and to give without fear. You're cultivating this web of support that force can never build. And this is generosity rooted in compassion, not doing it as a performance for others to appreciate. This is true generosity. It flows from the heart. Your softness allows you to give in a way that empowers rather than diminishes others. And it's reminding me of a book I just read where they talked about nice people versus kind people. And kind people do things that are nice when nobody else is looking. And that's what I'm seeing from you. That's what I'm feeling in your energy is you can be nice, but you're also kind. You'll do things that are kind and nice without thinking about personal gain. And that's a beautiful, authentic energy that encourages this reciprocity. And it's healing through equal exchange. This gentleness transforms help into healing. You're cultivating the understanding that to receive is also an act of generosity, and that giving and receiving are 2 petals of the same flower. It's that flow, that energy. When other people are allowed to help us, it builds them as well. It gives them an opportunity to experience that gratitude. So through gentleness, you're weaving a world of balance and trust. Your tenderness plants gardens of reciprocity that continue to grow. And because of all of this beautiful energy, you're blessed with the 9 of Cups. You know, by embodying self-sufficiency and childlike generosity, you arrive at the wish card. This is the emotional satisfaction that comes when your outer life and your inner heart are in harmony. You cultivate a sense of, I have enough, I am enough, and I rejoice in this moment. You live in the moment, you savor the flavor, right? Aligned desires manifesting. The 9 of Cups is about wishes fulfilled, not forcing, chasing, grasping at, but realized through alignment. Your gentleness and grace create fertile ground for your dreams to blossom without strain. You're discovering joy, not just in big achievements, but in daily pleasures, like those meals, great conversation, shared laughter, remembering things fondly, small rituals that make life feel magical, enchanted. And it overflows for others. Just as the 6 of Pentacles shows us reciprocity, the 9 of Cups suggests that by embodying this path, your joy overflows, allowing you to become a beacon. Your contentment inspires and blesses those around you. The 9 of Cups is Spirit's way of saying, when you walk in your sovereignty and softness and honor your innocent heart, you step into the realm of fulfillment. Your greatness becomes joy, your sovereignty becomes freedom, your past becomes sweetness rather than burden. And 9s are the number of fulfillment. And if you didn't look at reading number 2, that's okay. You don't need to go back. But if you came from it, there were 2 9s in reading number 2 as well. So definitely you are well on your way to experiencing peace and fulfillment. Reading number 3, just absolutely love your energy. Please let me know if this resonates. I love to read your comments, and I'm wishing you the best. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye.